So, would you like to be more self-confident, especially around new situations and new people you don't know? Well, in today's video, I'm going to share my shyness story with you, how I overcame it, I learned the secret, and how I became the confident person I am today. Can't wait to share it with you. Hi, I'm Bonnie Overman. I want to thank you for joining me today. I hope my channel will inspire you to lead a more productive, creative, and stylish life at any age, always on a budget. You know, I'm 71 years old, and I say if I can do it, you can do it too at any age. Thank you to all my dear, sweet subscribers. I appreciate every single one of you. You uplift me every day, and I so appreciate all your support and encouragement. And if you haven't subscribed yet, consider doing so. You don't want to miss any of these 2023 videos with a different theme every month. Oh, it's going to be a good year. And if you like this, please give me a thumbs up so I know you do. So I'm not talking about being like 100% confident in any situation all the time. That's kind of not realistic, okay? But I'm talking about 90 to 95% of the time, you feel good, positive, have a smile on your face, and you're looking forward to meeting people and having new experiences. Well, let me tell you about my shyness story and how I overcame it, how I had to in a particular job I got. But it all started when I was a kid. I was taller than any other kid. I was fatter than any other kid. I wore glasses. My name, everybody made fun of my name, my last name. So it was like, I think all the kids did this in the 1950s, and it wasn't really called bullying, but everybody made fun of everybody else. And I was a sensitive kid, and my parents were more like of the attitude, well, you're just fine. Get out there and, get on with things, type of thing. So it got even worse going into high school because here I am, and I'm so concerned about how I look, how I sound, how I walk, how I talk. I mean, it's just insane. I remember sitting for hours in the backyard with a mirror and just going over every pore, every stray hair, every pimple. I mean, it got to the point where it was horrible because I couldn't change what I looked like, and I thought everybody else looked better than me. Everybody else was better than me. Now, I made it through high school and had a group of friends that kind of felt the same way. We were all so shy, and we kind of had our own little club, so to say, but we made it through high school, and it got better as the years went on because you're thrown into situations where you have to learn to deal with things, right? But I have to tell you what really turned it around for me, and that was in the 1980s. So in the 1980s, I was newly divorced from my first marriage. I had a young son to raise. I was working from 10 to 9 o'clock at night. It was a disaster. I mean, I'm not making very much money either, and not getting any child support, of course. So let me back up for a minute. I've always been in the optical field, in case you don't know that, over almost 50 some years in the optical industry. Work for eye doctors. I'm a licensed optician at this point right now too. But somebody came to me with an opportunity to go into outside sales and work for the top #1 progressive lens company in the United States, right? Actually, they're a French-based company. And he goes, you got to go for it. You're going to be great. And I'm like terrified. Oh my God, outside sales? So I interviewed for the job. I was so nervous. I went through 3 interviews and I got the job. Now what? Oh my gosh. I was not prepared for how I would have to stretch myself and be uncomfortable. And it was just unbelievably stressful for me. Here I had to call on eye doctors. I had to get through the receptionist and get an appointment and get him to sell more of my lenses. And I had quotas, and I had all of these burdens on my back. But I knew I had to do this. It was a fabulous job. Back then, they gave us a free car every 2 years, everything paid. And I had to, because I was a divorced parent at this point in time. So I would call on the offices and I would have 3 issues. Um, I wasn't a lens expert at the time. Number 2, when you're nervous, you talk too much. And number 3, I was not confident. I was shy. I was fearful. And I could not get in to make anybody engage with me. And they just felt I was talking at them. And I got criticized because you have managers riding with you, critiquing everything you do. And you can't do that. And I really thought I'm just going to quit this job and just get something else. But I rode with some other reps, and that is what opened my eyes to all of this. Okay, I watched how did they act when they went into these doctor's offices, trying to talk to the staff, trying to get an appointment with the doctor. Number 1, they walked in with a big smile and very much at ease. Whether they were or not, they put a smile on their face and they engaged with everybody in the office. That is the secret. Instead of holding the mirror to myself and being so obsessed with this, I had to forget about myself and be so obsessed with them. Okay? Ask them questions, smile at them. How are you today? Oh, I love your, I would make it an honest compliment. I love your necklace, or I love your hair, or I love this or that. And I'm so glad to meet you, and on. And so that was the secret, to take away all the focus on myself and worry about myself and worry about how I felt and how nervous I was and what are people going to think, and just forget about it and become totally obsessed with the person that I wanted to engage. And boy, did they get appointments. They got through even the same day sometimes to talk to the doctor, and they used the same approach with the doctor. And I watched them also in different events. When you're in outside sales, you have to give seminars, you have to go to these company events. And they were very much talking, not about themselves, but about others, asking questions. Why is this? How is that? What is this? Finding out about the other people. And I realized that is the whole secret to becoming more confident and less self-conscious, is to put all your effort into finding out about other people, especially people you don't know. And they love it. People want to talk about themselves. They want, oh, so, have you been with the company long? And, what made you go into this field? And I mean, I would come up with these basic questions that I could ask people. And some of them became my best friends. So that was the big turning point in my life. It was hard for me to actually say this to myself, but looking back and actually interacting with some of the people that used to act like I acted, I wasn't smiling, I was fearful, no eye contact, no conversation, almost like I was very unfriendly, almost like I didn't want to engage with them, almost like I was stuck up. Maybe some people thought I was better than them. And that was not what was going on. But you see, it's the perception. If you can just put a smile on your face and fake it, you are going to be embraced by others. It is, and really be interested in other people. And my next video is going to be on living a passionate life. And this is all about that too. Be an interesting person, that if you do engage in conversation, you can really keep a conversation going. So I realized then, every event, every sales call, every phone call, it was all about somebody else. It was about the people I was calling on. Their time, is it a bad time for them? I had to be very sensitive to what they were going through, what they were feeling, what were their needs, what about the practice, what about their patients. And at events, I had to go up and introduce myself to strange accounts that I never called on. And I had to find out, about their lives, about the practice, about their careers. Now, the other thing I mentioned was I didn't feel like I was really an expert in my field. So that was the second thing I did. I became one of the only ones I ever know out there in the field that was a complete expert on progressive lenses. Those are the lenses that change from distance all the way into near. And I started troubleshooting patients. I went to the top people in my company, the real technical people, and kept at it until I understood what they were actually designing in the lens. So I felt very comfortable doing seminars almost every day in offices, training staff, training doctors, and was able to come in and help their patients or figure out what had happened, that the lenses weren't working with the patients. So it's so, so important that to educate yourself. That also makes you feel more confident. So let's talk about everyday life. So number one, smile. Okay. Now, before the masks and all of that, I noticed a lot of people would smile at me, and it was because I tried to keep a smile on my face. And so people naturally are a little bit like attracted to you, or, might want to start a conversation, or you just come across as being friendly and open. I think is so important. Ask about others. When you get into a cocktail party or a function, or it could be a church, it could be anywhere where you don't know a lot of the people, go up to them. How long have you been coming to church? Just really try to get people to talk. I always tried to go and draw out the people that were kind of wallflowers by themselves, looked nervous, and it's so nice to go over. It's such a good feeling to engage with them and get them talking, and you might make a new friend. Have interest in your life. Watch my next video, Living a Passionate Life, and be interested. So have interesting things to say and be interested in other people, and always make it about somebody else, not about you. The worst thing, I think, if you've ever been around somebody, oh, hi, how are you? Oh, I'm really sick, and this and this and this, and this happened, and my neighbor moved away, and they can go on and on and on, and the people are like, okay, I'm done with this. But if you could say, I'm doing great, how are you? And ask a question. Try to make it an opened-in question. In sales, that means that the response is not going to be yes or no. Because some people might be shy too, and they might, oh, yes, yeah, that's true. But, how did you move here? What prompted you to move to this area? So you can get more of a story. And if people don't want to talk, move on to somebody else. Remember, you have a lot to offer. You might feel, oh, I really haven't done much with my life. I've raised a family and this and that. And, maybe I painted a little bit, or I taught school or whatever. That is a great contribution. You should be so proud of every achievement you made in life, and always know that you have a lot to offer other people also. And the most important things you can do, the two things, is to uplift others and inspire others. Now, if you ever want to know why I started my channel, of course, I love an outlet for all my creativity and the things I like to make and do. But my number one thing was to inspire other people. I want to inspire other people to try new things, to live a more passionate life, to try to learn something new, to say to themselves positive things. The worst thing you can do, and I'm going to talk about that in my next video too, is to have this recording in your head. I'm too old to learn that. I'm too old to do that. Baloney. If I can do things and learn new things and learn how to do these videos and edit them and uplift them, they're not always perfect, but if I can do that at 70 years old, all on my own, I didn't know how to do any of this stuff. And one day I'll go through and tell you a little bit how I do my channel. But just know that you can do it. Have the confidence to do it. When you're nervous, when you feel scared, turn it on somebody else and become totally involved and enraptured with another person. And I'm telling you, the self-consciousness is going to fade away. And like I say too, if you're in a particular field where you don't feel confident about talking about things, learn. We can always educate ourselves, and that's going to be coming up in the next video too. Anyway, I hope you love my little story about, how I suffered when I was young. I look back now and I go, I shouldn't have cared at all. But I struggled and suffered all those years, and then how I was forced to turn it around and learn how to deal with being so shy and self-conscious and become a confident woman, which I am today. I hope you love this. I hope you got inspired and uplifted most of all, and I'm going to see you in the next video. Bye.